It's a podcast called I Choose You. Ben, Evan, Jeremy, Andy, and Jew. Let the cooking begin. I choose you.
Hello, and welcome to I Choose You, the podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. My name is Jeremy Zielik, the host and Alton Brown of the group, and joining me this week, as always, is...
Ben Montoya, the friend of the show.
Ian Davis, the Paul Rudd of the show.
Oh, shit.
And just a normal, innocent man, Evan Aubrey.
So, for the listeners at home, while we were doing some pre-show stuff, we watched the video clip of the British puppet show where there's this lady talking to a dog puppet, and the dog puppet says, "We're just normal men. We're just innocent men." And it's pretty inexplicable. And then when the introduction was happening, I thought about that clip, except it's replaced the word men with Ben. We're just normal Ben.
We're just innocent Ben. He's not just any dog. His name is Hacker T Dog.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's like
What is
T-Bone Burnett, but like in a puppet dog
What's the name of
form.
the show?
I think it's just bumpers for like children's programming.
It's called, CBBC, Children's BBC.
Oh, okay.
Good job, the children's BBC. We'll post this on Twitter so you guys know that we're not like spouting incoherent nonsense, which we do normally, right?
It's true. It is Tuesday. It is Tuesday after all.
Oh, Tuesday
Yeah,
in it.
So ridiculous ramblings are bound to happen.
Yes. Also, we don't have a lot of mail because this is a backlog episode. While you're listening to this, I'm currently in sunny Spain, enjoying a nice vacation, or vacación, as the people in Spain would say.
Vacación.
Yes, vacación. I'm landing in Madrid tomorrow. Going to Barcelona and Valencia. I'm gonna eat some jamón ibérica and some paella.
You're going to party in Ibiza?
I'm not going to Ibiza. We do not have time for that. I'm only there for 2 weeks, kind of situation. But if I get any like hot ideas for new recipes or the new Pokemon games, which are set in Spain, I'll try to let people know about what's going on. But I will be relinquishing most social media duties to Ben. So if you have any hot takes, send them towards what they have to say. So that's, I don't know why that was so complicated. Sorry, I'm still stressed out about like packing and stuff. But so a lot of cracking just happened. So Ben, you said you had a fun drink tonight. What is it?
I do. It is a Neapolitan Imperial Milk Stout.
Oof.
And you may be wondering what's so Neapolitan about this.
Why
Is it
from
strawberry
the city?
milk chocolate all at once?
Oh yeah, it is
Really?
the holy trifecta Neapolitan, and it has a picture of it's like a collaboration between two different local breweries, and it has like a mermaid and a beaver like
Whoa.
Eating
down.
ice cream.
Sharing a cone.
yeah.
Ben, if you froze this beverage and like cut it open, would it be the Neapolitan where it's the three colors like all next to each other?
This is like if you had a tub of Neapolitan ice cream and you took a spoon and you went all the way across it and got like a nice even helping of each flavor and then dropped it in a beer. That's what this tastes like.
Excellent. Ian, what do you got? I saw you crack open something.
My last limoncello.
The Last Limoncello. That sounds like a Martin Scorsese movie.
That's gonna be my memoir.
Yes. You write it as you're like dying of like consumption on a beach and you're drinking your like limoncello and you're like writing in like a quill and ink pen in like a diary, and you like as you press end, that's your final breath.
Exactly.
Evan, any drink for you this week?
No, I'm already a little toasty, so I'm
Ooh,
holding
shit.
off.
All
On
right.
Tuesday?
I went to a happy hour because that's the thing people at work do when you go to work.
Was it like an open bar at work?
It was not so we're not cool enough. The last job I was at did have a bar that was like the length of the entire building, but
Large
it was
bar.
it was nuts. But no, we went to this place called a Pizza Mart. They have somewhat decent pizza. They have delicious drinks. They're open till 4 a.m. That was my like go-to in college. Yeah.
Nice.
Dang.
So excellent.
Nice.
Well, I wish I could have done that tonight, but I was busy. But I have a Santa Fe Brewing Company cider, which is quite delightful.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to jump in with a segment we haven't done in a while. In fact, not since, as I mentioned, the new Pokemon games were announced. But this is only slightly related. We're going to step in for some news, which is the news section of the show. And yesterday, it was announced that Iron Chef is returning with Alton Brown hosting on Netflix this summer. And it raises the question: Will Alton Brown continue to torture people for his own sadistic games in a cooking competition format?
I was immediately thrown off by the main host guy that goes like, "Begin." He was totally bald. That threw me for a loop.
Well, you know why that is.
Why?
Okay, so that's Mark Dacascos.
Is he supposed to like? He and Alton Brown supposed to match?
No, that's Mark Dacascos, and he is currently busy now working on the John Wick films.
Oh.
And his character in those movies do not have hair.
Got it. That makes more sense.
Before he became the host of a cooking competition show, he was and still is a martial artist who shows up in film and television, such as John Wick Chapter 3, M-Parabellum, where he plays a sushi chef / assassin who goes after John Wick and fights him through a bunch of a hallway of like glass. So
I guess this is very exciting, but I guess my question to you, Jeremy, is how do you feel knowing that your version of the version of you that is Alton Brown, right? Is, you know, continuing to do exactly what you were just saying, be a sadistic fuck on television. And also, does that mean that that's what you are on this show?
Yes. I mean, some might say that. Now, obviously, he was more sadistic on Cutthroat Kitchen, where he like made people like cook with tiny utensils, or like they had to tie an arm behind their back or wear a banana on their head or whatever. That was definitely his like kink play kind of cooking show. But I definitely think the Iron Chef universe allows him to exert a kind of like a dominatrix or dominator, I guess, a status over the competition, because it's very classy, and there's a lot of yelling between the the competition chef and the chefs that they're fighting against. Like they throw witty barbs back at each other as they prepare their food.
I do wish there was like an NC-17 Iron Chef that basically like was Cutthroat and Iron Chef, but like you have the skill and like they can handle the pressure. But now the challenges are like, yeah, like you have to cook this, but you have to wear like your kid's face. Oh, like, wow. You know,
wow, that
like,
escalated quickly.
Like we're gonna put your balls in like a vice, and you have to like cook this fucking caviar eight-part meal in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You're gonna turn this. You're gonna use the ice cream machine, but this time with a ball gag.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have to wear a gimp suit while preparing this meal.
Every time you flip that steak, we're gonna put jumper cables on your nipples and just like light you up like a fucking firework.
Every time you approach the gelato machine, a mechanical boot on a wheel will kick you right in the tuchus.
Yes.
So like kind of a combination of, so like moving more into kind of like Jackass territory, or
Yeah,
like
There's
My name's Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Cutthroat Kitchen.
Yeah. There's a live bull in the kitchen, and you have to cook the meal while it's rampaging around.
You have to flip this omelet and also jump off this 3-story building.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are currently strapped to a makeshift rocket that's aimed into a lake, and you have to perfectly retrieve this souffle.
God, I would watch the shit out of that.
Yeah, I would too.
Ah, man.
someone will make that show. I probably.
From the
Give it
makers of
maybe 10
Wipeout.
years.
Yeah, give it 10 years. I mean, they're working on a new Jackass TV show. I don't know if you saw the last Jackass movie, Jackass Forever.
Yeah. restarted the whole thing.
Yeah, but they've got
Paramount
a new
Plus ate it up.
Yeah, they got a new crew of people. Ian, you'll be happy to know that the new Jackass movie begins with a turtle biting someone's penis. Which
You'll be happy to know.
Which I think fits in perfectly with your revamped version, the NC-17 rating of Iron Chef, where you have
to boil the lobster, but it is like latched onto your dick, and you have to like teabag.
You have to like dip it in from there
to get it off. Yeah.
Yeah. Why? I hope Iron Chef institutes another Netflix reality show element, which is the Flores lava pool, where they have to like manage over an obstacle course, and if they fall into it, they disappear forever from the show, and they do not comment on it.
That would make it a lot more competitive.
Yes, I think it would.
More cutthroat.
Oh.
Yeah, so Alton Brown, Netflix, call us. I think we've got some great ideas for your programming. I know Netflix is in some trouble right now, and I think these changes would definitely improve. Like, if they hire us, their stock goes back all the way to where it was like a month ago.
They call it the I Choose You bump.
Yes.
They don't call it the I Choose You bump for nothing.
No, that icy bump. Ooh, baby. All right. And you might be asking yourself, what is I Choose You about? And the answer is, it's a show about cooking and eating Pokemon. Each week, we randomly select a new Pokemon, and we discuss the culinary possibilities of how to prepare it for each other. And whoever has the best recipe wins in a poll, and there's much celebrating. It's funny. It is very similar to Iron Chef in structure on purpose. Ben, this week's Pokemon we're cooking is Durant, and Ben, you won last week, so tell us about Durant. What do you got? What do you got from him?
Well, as I'm sure some of you probably thought as well, the first thing or experienced is when you first type in Durant into Google, you don't see a Pokemon come up first, right?
No, you don't.
Instead, you see two-time NBA champion, two-time NBA Finals MVP, NBA MVP, 12-time NBA All-Star, Kevin Durant.
What?
Yeah.
Are you telling me this Pokemon has the exact same name as a famous athlete?
And I'm here to tell you that it's not a coincidence,
Oh.
because if you scroll all the way down to Kevin Durant's Wikipedia page, you'll find in the first paragraph of off the court section.
Ooh, okay, didn't do this.
To be that in 2013, Kevin Durant opened a restaurant in Oklahoma City, Katie's Southern Cuisine.
Ooh.
Nice.
And unfortunately, the restaurant itself was short-lived. It closed when he moved away from the Oklahoma City area. But I did find this article about the restaurant, and I wanted to share it with you because it had some pretty good, some pretty great moments in it. And this is, of course, going to influence my recipe, so you'll have to be closely paying attention. Kevin Durant took time out of being generally awesome on the basketball court to open a posh Oklahoma City restaurant that comes complete with newfangled menus and signed posters of Thunder players on the wall. There's a journalist who's like covering it, and he tweeted out, "Yep, it seems that the dark and subdued lighting will not impede your ability to order off the menu. What a time to be alive."
Wow. What kind of food is this place?
I can't believe. I like that. That's like the first thing that they bring up is that, like, look, this restaurant, the lighting it's a little bit of mood lighting, but you can still read the menu.
Yeah, so this is like a upscale, like Southern cuisine kind of restaurant. But the person writing this notes prices range from a little under $10 and to beyond $50 on the Ballers menu.
Oh, yeah.
So do you think you walk in and they give you a regular menu and you're like, "Excuse me, sir, I would like the Ballers menu."
The Ballers menu.
The Ballers menu, quote unquote, is for those who are just not sated by a hamburger, fried chicken, and waffles, pork ribs, or chicken fried steak.
Uh-huh.
The more expensive section of the menu includes items like tenderloin medallions, New York strip, and ribeye cuts. And now we are hungry. So it goes on to talk about like, yeah, the restaurant manager, blah, blah, blah. There is a private dining room that has a DJ in it.
Oh, shit.
Like
For-
at all times.
Yeah, for those big ballin' moments.
Yes.
Yeah, is it called the baller room?
Yeah.
It doesn't say. We can
instead
only
of a
assume.
ball pit.
Yeah. Instead of a ballroom, it's a baller room.
Yeah.
But the thing that I thought was pretty good about this is this article ends blah blah. Okay, I was able to chow down on some items and simply offered, quote, "I look forward to going back," unquote.
A ringing endorsement.
Yeah.
Now, Ben, if you remember way back 3 years ago when I Choose You was in its infancy, you proposed the restaurant of Sandshrew Fahupas, where this was a basketball-themed restaurant involving fajitas that were dunked onto your table. So my question is that when you're in the baller room, do they have like hoops above your plates, and the waiters come in and they like slam dunk your steak through the hoop onto your plate, and they're like, "Baller," and they do that?
Yeah. So basically that's kind of what I'm imagining is like that is maybe a little bit more of a kitschy kind of version of a basketball themed restaurant. And now I'm going to be opening up the Durant Southern cuisine restaurant to, you know, kind of bump things up a little bit and give that big baller flair, you know.
Nice.
So when I looked up the that one of the steaks that was on the menu on the baller menu, you know, it's like a tenderloin or something, and or no, this one's like a ribeye. So it's got like a nice big steak, juicy steak, just like how the big ballers like them. And right on top is a literal mountain of like fried onions.
Oh, shit.
Whoa.
I do love a mountain of fried onions. That sounds great.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is that we can use, excuse me, we can use our Durant to be both our steak and our onion rings.
Oh, shit.
So the problem is that it's like coated in metal, right? So the first thing that we're going to do is like welder style. We're going to like take a, you know, torch to it and melt off the steely outside. And then you're gonna like chop up the little bits of the Durant, and it's about like a foot long, so it's kind of like you'll probably need 4 or 5 of them to get some good like sliced bits. I'm looking mostly at the posterior.
Of course.
And you're gonna slice them up, and I'm gonna imagine that the meat is very meaty and not gooey like how an ant might be inside. The legs you're just gonna like snip off and then fry and like, you know, do a quick panko crusting and do like an onion ring situation, and then serve it up big baller style, you know, big steak knife.
Would you have the like steak on the center of the plate and then the fried legs sticking out of it so it looks like an ant?
Yes. Yes.
Don't play with your food, Jeremy.
No, I like that idea.
Okay, cool. I'd serve like a side of mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a little mashed potato. Well, yeah, a little mashed potato like bed underneath the
bed.
Durant steaks. Maybe.
A nest of mashed potatoes, perhaps, for your Durant.
Yeah.
So obviously, it's funny that we're doing this Durant episode because Durant is the natural food of Heatmore, which is a Pokemon we covered only a mere few weeks ago. Right. So do you think, Ben, would you consider this restaurant that you're proposing or this meal to be a meat whore meal?
If I was a meat whore, would I order this? Probably. Yeah.
It's a big steak.
Yeah.
It's a big one. Yeah.
Is in this basketball restaurant, is it owned by someone on the Miami Heat Moors?
Ooh.
It better be.
Well, I mean, it's not
pretty
because
good.
it's in Oklahoma City, but
I mean,
Oklahoma
didn't Kevin
Thunder
Durant
is-
play for the Miami Heat?
I don't remember. I
think
don't
he
know
did,
a lot
actually.
about. Oh, if he did, okay. But the Oklahoma Thunder, that's what the team is called, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Oklahoma Thundurant.
Oh.
Okay.
Ben, I want to let you know that I also thought about Kevin Durant because it was brought up in our Discord and people were talking about how we shouldn't eat a person. So I Googled earlier today, I Googled Kevin Durant cooking. And here's the things that came up. James Harden and KD were cooking in Toronto, which is just a recap of a game that happened because he was doing their yeah. And then another one is Serena Williams roasts Kevin Durant in a new video, which is again
at 375 degrees.
yes, is much more metaphorical. But I finally found one regular video about cooking, and it is Kevin Durant eats snake with Sergey Ibaka. How hungry are you? And it, so apparently Kevin Durant has eaten a snake. So there you go.
Let's get him on the show.
Yes.
So I did also see on his Wikipedia page that he also had a kind of career in 2017 as a YouTuber, which I don't know if he does anymore. He would do like lifestyle vlogs.
Nice. It's like how
and then-
before he became an actor, Timothy Chalamet used to review Xbox controllers on YouTube.
What's up, guys? I just got this hoverboard.
I mean, you can't deny it. All right. You know what? I'll leapfrog off of that because, Ben, we had a similar thought process. I was like, okay, can I make a Kevin Durant joke? So I looked up that and I was like, I don't know if we could do eating a snake. I don't know about that. I missed his restaurant. I must have not Googled the correct thing while researching him. But I also looked up a thing where I looked up, let's see what the number one like NBA recipes are like. If you're like an actual baller and not at a restaurant, what are you eating? And I got sent to a website that's run by the Utah Jazz, the silliest NBA team. And it had some hot recipes, including that had funny names. Oh man, no, I'm missing the website. I'm sorry.
I was promised funny names, Jeremy.
It was like the fruit in the hoop, and it's like you put some fruit in the bowl, and that was the recipe. Is like fruit in the hoop, and it's like, damn, that's just fruit in the hoop. I looked up Durant recipes, and that didn't take me anywhere on my Googles.
Was it the Utah Jazz quarantine cookbook?
I think it was, yes.
Oh man, this is good.
The Utah Jazz quarantine cookbook was definitely. I looked at it and I was like, "Is there anything hilarious here?" And the answer is moderately funny, like the Crispalicious Caribbean lettuce wrap. And I was like, "Okay, Crispalicious, that's something."
Or trying.
Yes. And it's like, okay, this isn't really doing anything for me. And I was like, okay, thinking about Durant, and maybe I was like, what about other famous basketball players? And I was like, Michael Jordan, is there anything with that? And I was like, not really. He did do some like ads for like fast food restaurants. And I was like, I don't know. Magic Johnson, is there anything there? No, he just sounds like a whimsical penis. And then it's like that there's not a lot I got from that theory. So I stood in my corner for a little bit, and I was like, Durant. And I came up with this recipe. So I'm traveling tomorrow, and I need food that will get me on the go. And perhaps when I stop at the Albuquerque Sunport while I'm traveling, I might go to the Jumbo Juice and perhaps pick up a smoothie for breakfast, as one does. And you know what is technically a smoothie? Danimals. So this week we're gonna make some Durantimals smoothies for our trip across the ocean. So I just looked up Danimals recipe, and I came to this website called Mashup Mom, who says copycat Danimal smoothies recipe.
Okay.
So basically, it's like a quick at-home kind of situation where you're going to like throw together a couple of ingredients, and you're going to add some ground up Durant as like protein powder for your smoothie.
Mm.
So it gives you a bit of that kick, because as we know, bugs are the food of the future, and their high protein content makes this much more filling on the go meal than it would be previously. So what you're going to get is you're going to get a cup of your favorite yogurt. This one calls for strawberry yogurt, but you could go for, well, whatever you like. You're going to get a cup of milk, and then you're going to get a jam of your choice for whatever like flavor you want. So like if it's strawberry jam, blueberry, that kind of situation. You want to make sure that it's not something like that's too chunky, because it might get a little hard to drink in a single sitting. And then you're gonna get some Durant powder. You're gonna just toss all that shit into a blender. You're gonna add some bananas for some like stiffening kind of situation. And then you're gonna also, if you want, you can throw in something like a peanut butter, which helps emulsify the whole smoothie situation.
Mhm.
So you're gonna get that. You're gonna blend it together until it's nice and smooth, and then you're gonna pour it in your to-go sippy cup. You're gonna take it on your on your skateboard, and everyone's gonna think you're cool, hip, and with it with your Durantimals.
Nice.
Yes, Ian.
When I think of Danimals yogurt, of course I think of the iconic curvy figure 8-esque bottle
Yes.
that you would suck them down from. With
Yeah.
the little like tinfoil caps that you peel back.
Absolutely.
Would you be
Perfectly
selling?
shaped for your hands?
Yeah.
They know that. Yeah.
They know
really,
the curvature of a palm.
yes, they really grip them
Researched
tightly.
it.
Would you sell these in 3.2 fluent ounce bottles so that you can take them onto the plane and get it through the TSA?
Well, you see, I was thinking that perhaps I set up this store inside of an airport, if you will, and then it can be as large as you want, because you can get a fucking 18-ounce smoothie or 22-ounce smoothie at Jamba Juice in the airport. But more specifically, I could also do this at home, and I can make the curvy glass or cup or container, because I don't even know really what to call it, any size I want, because no one's stopping me in the size of my Durantimals. So as I'm skateboarding, I could have a 22 to 30 ounce Durantimals that shows that I'm much cooler than the other kids.
Do you guys are you the kind of people who like go to a restaurant in the airport and then bring your meal onto the plane and like eat it
Oh, I had
next
do
to
that
someone?
recently.
It depends. Yeah. If it's something involved, no. If it's a grab and go thing, I might.
I've never like considered doing that, but I sat next to a dude when I was coming back from Michigan. It was like this really shy, I assume college student, and he had a whole like pizza box.
Hell yeah.
And he like looks at me, and we're both wearing masks, and he's like, "Do you mind if I like eat this?" Which is very polite. And of course I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. What do you got in there?" And I'm like,
Yeah, show me your
slice.
Zod, dude.
He's like, and he like slowly opens it. He's like, this, and I was like, nice, man. I was looking at that restaurant and I'm like, just getting. You're gonna eat that next to me. I'm gonna get up in your business and see it. Little did you know, he was sitting next to Ian Davis of the popular culinary podcast.
Right.
Of course.
Had no idea he might possibly get shouted out to tens, nay, hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should have been like, what Pokemon would you eat?
Yeah.
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 Hey,
So what if you could cut up a Pikachu and put it on that pizza? Would you do it?
would you?
Would you? Really ever think about just drinking the milk from a milk tank straight from the nips? You know what I'm saying?
I pull out my USB microphone and my laptop, and I'm like, welcome to
Yeah.
my podcast.
Yeah.
Right. Harass people on a flight.
To answer your question, Ian, it depends on the meal and how much time I have. If I'm laying over between places and I have a long time, I'll just eat in the airport. But if it's like less than an hour, I might buy something and take it on the plane kind of situation. And usually that case will be something that I can eat easily, like a wrap or a sandwich. A Wolfgang Puck pre-made sandwich, perhaps.
Oof,
Mm.
fancy. So Jeremy, how are we getting this Durant powder? What is the process like here?
So what you do is you get your Heatmore, and you get the Heatmore's heat, and it melts the Durant's outer shell. And when that melts, you're gonna fry the inner goo of the Durant until it becomes nice fine powder. And when and so like you go like crisp it and then smash it up. And once you do that, you got that nice Durant powder. You might need to kind of sift it, mash it up some more, so you can actually put this in your Durantimals. But yeah, use the Durant Natural Predator, the Heatmore, to prepare your Durant powder for your Durantimals.
Nice.
Perfect. I like this recipe mainly because I was also thinking of doing like a supplement kind of thing, like going with like an NBA athlete kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And
Steroids.
I can definitely see Kevin Durant hawking some Durantimals.
Brain powder.
Yeah.
It's the Danimals monkey, but just his face like plastered on top, and
Yeah.
it's
Fucking-
like, yeah, radical.
Fucking slamming a dope one, an alley-oop, maybe.
Dope one.
Yeah, he's
Then when you go to a basketball game and they make a shot, you're like, what a dope one they just performed.
Oh, what a great score.
Yes.
Goal.
Yes. Ian, what is your recipe this week?
glad you asked. I'm gonna work backwards, or maybe it's forwards. I just asked that if you solve my riddle, don't spoil it.
Okay.
Okay, no spoilers.
Riddle me these questions 3.
Yeah, riddle me this. I'm making a bit kind of an amuse-bouche, one bite kind of like, you're at the VIP, like you're at Kevin Durant's party. There are people walking past with silver trays of these suckers. All right, so
perhaps a hors d'oeuvre, if you will.
Meat horde. This is when I tell you what it is, it'll click. But so the base layer is actually going to be we're going to take a clink, which you'll recall from last week, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And if you have looked at clink recently, you'll notice they're both missing one of their eyeballs.
Uh-huh.
It's already missing.
Yeah.
Why is that? Well, because I fucking snuck in there in the night. Take
Since
the eye.
Wait.
Yes.
So what you're implying is that as soon as they hatch, you're just in there with like the scoop to get one of their eyes.
It's more of like a straw situation.
Yeah.
Like a boba.
Or it's like in Kill Bill Volume 2 where the bride steals the other lady's eye by just pulling it out of her face.
Exactly. Just like that. Every time an angel gets its wings, a clink loses an eye.
Yeah.
You take that eye and kind of like do it stir fry style with like teriyaki sauce and soy sauce. You get all those flavors. That's kind of the flavor profile. And it's a little crisp on the outside. Cut that in half so that way you have like a nice flat surface to work with. And then we're going to put some peanut butter hummus, hummus on it. You're going to whip that up with, your garbanzo beans, your peanuts, garlic, lemon juice, olive oil, cumin, salt, turmeric, cayenne, all that good stuff, and just whip that up. Hummus is super easy to make. It's so good. And you put a little dollop on top of that. And then the little cherry on top, so to speak, you take your Durant, and similar to Jeremy, you heat that guy up more. You know what I mean?
More heat.
More. I'm presupposing less of a goo inside, more like Ben with a little like big meaty claws. Just you heat them up. The meat cooks inside of the shell, and it gets real like tender and like pulls apart. And then you remove the shell, and you have like your perfectly cooked guy. Take a little medallion of that, just a little. This is a one biter. Okay?
Yeah.
And you put that on top. Maybe you put like a toothpick through it to hold it all together. And I give you Durant on a cog.
Wait.
Like ants on a log.
Oh. Damn it.
Man,
That's
You
really
said it,
good.
and I was like, wait a minute, what's the joke? And then I got it.
much like a medieval peasant on a rack, that was very tortured.
That's amazing. What so you're just eating it, you're just crunching down on some nice cold hard metal.
No, it's the
The teriyaki eye.
Oh
The
yes.
eyeball.
Yes, okay.
but that is giving
this
you
is the only fleshy part of the clink that you're using to prepare this meal.
exactly, yeah.
I
So you have the crunch of the eyeball, you have the smoothness of the hummus, and then you have just like this meat just kind of like melts in your mouth. Really nice.
So you said you're a Paul Rudd, who is obviously Ant-Man in the Marvel films. Do you think he would consume ants? Ant-Man.
And he must have, like when he's really big, they must just get in
Some
there.
just like flew
Just
into his
crawling
mouth.
in, yeah.
I went with Paul Rudd because moments before starting the podcast, you were like, "Are we ready?" And I said no, and then you started the show anyway. And I quickly went to ranker.com for the greatest ant characters of all time. It's Ant-Man, followed by every fucking ant in A Bug's Life.
Did
No
they include
ants.
Adam Ant?
Didn't include Adam Ant, didn't include ants with a Z, which really upsets me.
Then
We all
okay,
know
first
that's your favorite movie.
yeah, I have two bones to pick with this situation. One, Ant-Man isn't an ant. He's a man with ant-like properties.
Well, he's an ant character, though.
Is he?
What
There's
other
a-
character would he be?
Wait, what?
Yeah, checkmate.
No, but he's not an ant. He's not literally an insect. He just has a cool suit.
Well, okay, so number one, Ant-Man. Number
Okay.
two, Flick from A Bug's
Okay.
Life. He's the
Yeah,
protagonist.
obviously.
Number three, Dr. Flora, also from A Bug's Life. Number four, Adam Ant.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Adam Ant.
Pretty fucking legit.
Okay, this is my second bone to pick. That's not a character. That's a person.
Adam
He's-
Ant,
Yeah, he's a musician.
but he's a
Oh.
cartoon character.
Well, there.
Oh,
I
okay.
knew the cartoon character.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was thinking of the actual musician Adam Ant, who wrote like some post-punk music in the early '80s that I find very enjoyable. And in fact, his one of his songs was used in the trailer for Ant-Man and the Wasp because they both have because his name's Adam
can't
Ant.
not.
Fuck yeah.
What I don't understand is like so then there's like four more Bug's Life characters, and then there's Ferda Mravenek, who is a popular Czech animated character published in 1933.
What?
That made it above Ants with a Z.
This is
Well,
what
it's to
happens
be.
when they canceled Woody Allen. Is his Ants character can't get onto this fucking list.
Now Ranker's asking me to just disable my ad blocker. I'm out of here.
Go.
Can't do it. Only let you read 10 ants at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my recipe. Durant on a cog.
Love it.
Okay, that's pretty funny. Evan.
Yes. So I'm also going to be doing a little bit more presupposition this week because we're going to make so when I was thinking of Durant and good puns, what came across to me was everyone's maybe like secretly favorite fruit, durian.
Ooh.
Oh.
Nice.
So yeah, we're going to make some duriant fritters.
Oh.
Very nice.
Yes. So beneath that hard steely Dan exterior is a nice soft supple fruit core
That smells bad.
that does maybe smell a little bit bad. Yeah, but once we cook it, it's going to taste delish. Okay, so what you're going to do is in a mixing bowl, you're going to combine some flour, some rice flour, some salt, and add in some coconut milk, some mashed Durant, and some sugar. And you're going to mix it, quote, into a sloppy batter.
Oh,
Ooh.
Just slopping it up.
Get that
Yeah.
sloppy going.
Yeah, sloppy steaks.
Yeah, and and then to cook it, you're gonna basically deep fry your duriant balls. So you're gonna basically get an ice cream scoop and scoop it out of your bowl here and just
Okay.
plop nice little like balls into the batter or into the hot oil, and you're gonna pull those out once they're nice and golden brown. And you're gonna do a nice little dusting of powdered sugar on top, and there you have it, a nice little Durant fritter dessert.
Mm.
Okay, who here has eaten durian?
I mean,
Oh, I have. Yeah.
Oh.
I have as well. Ian, have you consumed the rotted fruit?
It seems like something I'd remember if I ate.
It definitely tastes better than it smells.
It does smell very bad.
I feel like maybe I've eaten it cooked in something.
Probably.
It's entirely possible. I had it when I was in China, and there's just like people who are like, I got it on the side of the street, and you like eat it, and it
Jeremy, you
smells
went to
bad,
China?
and then you eat it, and it. What, Ian?
You went to China?
Oh yeah, and Ian, you better fucking believe it. 2.5 weeks from now, when we record our next episode, I'm gonna be like,
Jesus Christ.
Jeremy went to Spain?
yeah, bienvenido, la casa de Zelig.
God damn it. I enjoy that you're bringing back the durian because we had the quillfish episode where we declared that quillfish was the durian of the sea. This is great because it's like the durian of the ground.
Yeah. Because you need multiple of those.
Yes.
Yeah.
You look. There needs to be a durian for every classical element. There needs to be a durian of the water, a durian of the earth, a durian of the air, and the durian of the fire. And there's like some sort of durian avatar that exists that can unite all of them in one uber durian, if you will.
Ian is apparently not a durian fan.
Found this on the durian Wikipedia page. Imagine a silhouette of a durian being crossed out and it says no durians, and apparently this is a sign informing that the durian fruit is not allowed inside Singapore's mass rapid transit.
Yeah, I remember that from when
You'll
we
poke
talked
your
about
eye
this
out.
last time. You're not allowed to take it like on trains and stuff.
All I can think of is that Garfield meme where he looks at a picture of him crossed out, and it's like, I wonder who that's for. So like, it's a durian looking at this sign. It's like, I wonder who that's for.
Good job,
All right.
Evan.
I feel like also just to tell you, I feel like the texture of the durian feels very like insect friendly. Like I can imagine that same kind of like weird fleshy slimy thing on the inside of durian's like hard coating.
Absolutely.
All right. Let us review our recipes. We've made a meal out of Durant. Such meals
Truly.
include Ben's Kevin Durant restaurant-themed Durant steak. I have Durantimals, the Durant smoothie. Ian has Durant on a cog. And Evan has fried durian dessert made out of Durant. So let's all vote here and decide who the winner mon is. And Ben, can you tell us?
I can. Evan has won this week
Hey,
with 2 votes. I got a vote and Ian got a vote as well.
Congratulations.
lovely.
Good job, everybody. I hope when I return from Spain, my time of rest and relaxation, that I will finally win again. This was supposed to be my year, and it's swiftly approaching the end of it being
Sorry.
my
Oh,
year.
Jeremy. Oh,
Hold
you've
on,
had
hold
some.
on. Yeah. If we want to talk about who's getting fucked in the ass this season,
You've had your time, Davis.
Hey, Ian, I will let you know that I did vote for you, so.
thank you, Jeremy. That makes one of us.
Yeah. One of these days, you and I, Ian, we got to band together, overthrow the ruling class of Evan and Ben.
Yeah.
All right.
Be funnier. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Durant on cog, that was fucking genius.
Hey, I'm not voting for me. You're voting.
All right. Let us go to our next segment, which is Whale Lord's Mail Horde, where we read your email sent into ichoosepod@gmail.com. That's ICHEWSPOD@gmail.com. As we are recording this episode literally the day our last episode came out, there hasn't been any really new emails. So again, ichoosepod@gmail.com. We'll accept anything sent there. But Ben, we had a informative Twitter thread in response to some things we spoke about on our last episode. Can you inform us?
Yeah, so this is kind of perfect because we were just talking about this, but like cake versus gusher, which came first,
Yes.
the philosophical debate that we couldn't solve. Pokemaniac Chris at Pokemaniacal chimes in and says, so cake gusher versus gusher cake is a problem that was first seriously considered by Aristotle. Socrates and Plato attempted to define cake and gusher, but were uninterested in the hybrid types, which they argued were mere shadows of the more perfect, quote, form of the cake. The cake gusher and gusher cake posed important challenges to Aristotle's division of form and matter, because one has the form of a gusher and the substance of a cake, and vice versa. Aristotle generally held that form is more fundamental than substance, but struggled to reconcile this with the inevitability of a cake made of gushers, which has the form of a cake at the macro level, but the form of gushers at the micro level. Ultimately, he is said to have abandoned the entire problem in disgust after Diogenes, the cynic, burst in on one of his lectures, proffering a large cake made of a cake gushers, which were themselves filled with tiny gusher cakes. And this is all true, they say.
Thanks, Pokemania, Chris. I feel like it's good to have a fan who's got like a master's degree in classics, so that they can inform us about these important elements of history.
I was just picturing like a scenario where we're like in the good place, and Pokemaniac Chris is the classics guy, being like, "Oh, well, this isn't ethical."
So he's like teaching us how to be better people, and we're all very bad at it because we're sitcom characters.
Yeah, he's like, "You can't eat that. It has a face." Pokemaniac Chris is vegan.
Yes.
Here.
All right. There was some chatter in the Discord this week about this week's Mon. Mostly that the Pokedex bot wouldn't bring it up. Edward says Kevin Durant is a human being. We cannot kill him. Connor says, I think you'll find human beings actually can be killed, and quite easily. A human commoner only has 4 HP on average. I don't know if that's based on D&D rules, Ian?
Yeah.
Okay. So would you say, what do you think our HP is, if you had to guess, for the hosts of I Choose You?
Probably like 10.
Oh, wow. We've leveled up quite a bit.
I think, yeah. Basically, what I'm saying is, like, if like a giant, like, level 10 barbarian just like raged in and like hit us with his war axe, probably take like half of a hit before we just went down.
Okay.
Excellent. And Pokemania Chris concludes, but how much HP does Kevin Durant have? I know nothing about him beyond what he looks like in a Google image search, but no way is that guy a level 1 commoner with a +0 con modifier.
That's true. His constitution and dexterity is up there. He's got some high AC.
Wouldn't you say that Kevin Durant probably has very low AC, given that a basketball outfit is a kind of a light shirt and shorts and doesn't offer much protection from heavy artillery?
In that sense, but I feel like AC generally is like, just how hard is it to hit you?
Okay.
And he's on the
It'd be
court.
hard to hit him.
Yeah.
Oh, the way he's moving up and down the court with that basketball, there's no one can touch him.
No one can hit him.
Yes. All right. I think this is the most we've talked about Kevin Durant on this podcast. Anyway, let's move on to the next section of the show, where we pick next week's Pokemon on a segment I like to call Pick-a-mon. Evan, can you give me a number between 494 and 649?
I can indeed. Where'd it go? I'll do it again. Random number generator, 494 and 649?
Yeah, 494 and 649. You
566.
566, you say. 566 is Trubbish.
Oh.
Nice. Okay.
Fuck.
All right, so send in your best Trubbish recipes to ichoosepod@gmail.com for all of your Trubbish well-beings. I feel like this is
2 solid months of like eating like metal and bugs and rocks and now like literal garbage.
Look, I think if Heathcliff, the cat that we all love, can find a delicious meal in the garbage, then certainly we can as well.
I guess
That's
that's
Fair
true.
point.
All right, let's move on to plugs. Do you tell us about your presence on the internet and where we can find you?
not gonna plug myself this week because I've just been such a piece of shit and haven't like uploaded anything in a long time. So, I'm gonna plug a restaurant I've never been to. Heard about it today. If you're in Albuquerque, New Mexico, it's called the Blood Sausage Restaurant.
Nice.
And it serves blood sauce. Here's the menu. The menu is blood sausages, and it has 4 kinds, and then not blood sausages, and then side dishes. But the fun part is that it is, when you go to the homepage, it says it is a 80s horror chef-driven restaurant.
Nice.
So you
It
go
also
there,
says now open.
and it is now open. This is like cutting, bleeding, fucking sausage news. You can go there, and like Freddy Krueger's there, like fucking up some tables. Jason's there. Frankenstein, Dracula,
The Wolfman,
the Wolfman,
Candyman.
Swamp Thing. They're all there having a drink. You can say hi, get an autograph. It's kind of like basketball themed restaurant, but for horror and bloody sausage.
And so, Ian, you haven't been to this restaurant, but do you hope when you go there that the only music they play is the Monster Mash?
If it isn't that and Nightmare on My Street by Will Smith, I'll walk straight out.
Okay. Evan.
You can follow me on Twitter, _Van Aubrey.
Ben.
You can follow me on Twitter too, at Ben C. Montoya. I know that I've been like, I'm gonna post what I've been working on for a long time, and I actually won't be able to because it's fucking scrapped by the company that I used to work for. So you know, that's unfortunate. But
Hey, but Ben, what if I want some hot takes about the Kingdom Hearts franchise?
Well, if you're curious at all about the Kingdom Hearts games and how I might think about them, playing them back now, you can follow me on Twitter at Ben C. Montoya, because I do post those, and I will post pictures of my cat too.
I just have to ask, what game are you on right now?
I am on the second playthrough of Birth by Sleep.
Okay.
Which is the PSP prequel series that, or prequel game that happened like 6 years before the events of the first Kingdom Hearts game.
When do you get to my favorite Kingdom Hearts game? Only because I know of its name, which is Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days.
Okay, well, so here's something that I was going to tweet about. Here's a little sneak peek, okay? Maybe since this is coming out later, I've already tweeted about it. But like,
it's out of Ben's drafts and into the world.
Yeah. So, okay, so the collection of games that came out for Switch this year has like 7 games on it, and it has like, you know, all of the spin-off series, like what you're talking about, 356 over 8 days or something like that.
It's 358 over 2 days. I looked this up.
That's what it is. Yeah, it has that, and it has another DS game on there called Recoded. And I wasn't thinking I would play one of them, so I was just like, whatever. But then the other one I was excited to play because I had never played it before. Both of those games are not in the collection. They are literally like hours worth of cutscenes that you just play.
Ooh. Just to get the story out?
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is like, it's stupid because they actually have necessary plot elements that are important to what happens later on in the other games, but they didn't include the fucking DS games on the Switch version of all of these games. Like, I don't understand what was happening there, but like, it's so frustrating. I was like, all right, like, I'm down to check this out, and then the only option was to just like play cutscenes, and of course, you better believe I fucking watched the cutscenes, okay? I'm in it for the story. I'm in it to relive all of it, and the parts of it that I haven't played yet. But I did kind of want to play those freaking games, okay? So, that's my. I guess I just needed to get that off my chest, because. All
right. Well, write a strongly worded letter to Square Enix. I'm sure they'll respond to you post haste.
Yeah.
All right. You can follow me on Twitter at VelocityPrime1. Also, check out the-avocado.org to find some writing about movies and stuff. The-avocado.org and at VelocityPrime1. That wraps it up for this week's episode of I Choose You. You can download I Choose You on your favorite podcast apps, including Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify, or your podcast catcher of choice. If you like our show, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify to help us go up the ranks. If you want more I Choose You goodness, may I recommend our social media pages, I Choose Pod on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and our brand new TikTok page as well. All that can be found there. Also, make sure to check out our Discord. I Choose You Discord can be accessed through our social media pages and in the episode description. Lastly, but not leastly, check out the official I Choose You website, ichooseyou.menu. ichooseyou.menu has a full episode archive and a merch store with everything designed by one Evan Aubrey. All that and more at ichooseyou.menu. And for the show, I've been your host and Alton Brown of the group, Jeremy Zielik.
I've been your friend on this show, Ben Montoya.
I've been Paul Rudd.
And Evan Aubrey.
Okay, Ian, I just want to back on track. Have you just been Paul Rudd?
This entire time.
I ripped my face off. It's
Damn.
Paul Rudd.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That was Ian Davis as Paul Rudd. Oh, anyway, to all the choosies out there in Radio Land, in a while, toe to dial.
It's always hard when the recipe's new.
Make a presupposition, or just make a stew.
But there's no month that we can't cook. So turn up the volume, put down that book.
It's season 5.
Let the pan sage roast.
Keep the Nilux alive.
Make some tepid toast.
So crack a cold one, now's the time.
Cooking Pokemon and making rhymes. We're not always right or wrong, but you'll probably have some fun. It's win or lose based on the jokes you choose. The winners within. It's a podcast called I Choose You. Ben, Evan, Jeremy, Andy, and Jew. Let the cooking